Welcome to Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan, training you to lead with courage.
Hello, everyone. We are so glad you are here. We have today a very special guest, an actor, writer, producer, and director, Tony Lo Bianco. I am so thankful for you taking the time and to be here on my podcast, Courageous Leadership. And I want to say that I love your spirit. I love what you're doing. I met you a few years back. You were so gracious when I was in New York to be on Eric Metaxas show. You and your wife came and we had a wonderful time together. But not only that, several people in the restaurant came to our table and said, "Oh, I love your movies. I love what you're doing here. I love what you're doing there," and everything. It was so wonderful to see the response of people and how well they recognize you and your values. So with that, I will say, Tony, I would love to give you the floor. You are a courageous leader. You are bringing so much value to us, and we want to hear from you. What do you want to tell us about yourself?
Well, thank you, Virginia. It's just an absolute pleasure to be with you. And talk about courage and leadership. Nobody could have more courage than you. You're facing your assassin and speaking him out of doing his job on you. That is incredible, amazing. You know, today we find ourselves in a very, very curious place in this country and in the world as far as leadership. And, it takes two to tango, as they say. And in order to be a leader, the person that you're speaking to has to be able to be led. And that is the problem, that we are now so entrenched in our different beliefs that it's extremely difficult even to get the words out. As you know, there's a lot of censorship going on. There's a lot of cancellation of thought going on. So it's very, very difficult to lead and to inspire. And the wonderful word tolerance is turned into be an enemy because you do not tolerate something that is going to destroy you. And that's where we're at. This fine experiment of the United States of America, of being open, being tolerant, the idea of bringing everybody together is a wonderful idea. However, you have to understand the masses are much larger than the leaders. And unfortunately, with our new technology, everybody feels that they are entitled to instant gratification. And so when the masses feel that they are entitled to instant gratification, it's very easy for them, or a leaders, let's say, politicians, to offer stuff for free. So when you offer stuff for free to the masses and you work on a voting system, you're bound to lose because the numbers are not in your favor. And with this new generation, new people that we have cultivated with our technology, with our availability for instant gratification without working for it, they just expect it to come to them. It's normal. That seems very normal when you teach them on a television screen or whatever we have in front of us, an iPad or whatever you have. And when you show them and teach the masses about availability and what possibly could be for them, you leave out the word work. And they don't understand it because our teaching has been, again, from the beginning in our school systems, instant gratification and equality. Equality is an interesting word again. You're equal to achieve that goal if you work hard enough to get it, not just want it. You see, even stores, and during this time, Walgreens, for an example, Walgreens and the law has allowed people to go in and shoplift without being arrested. It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You go into
That might be in your state,
maybe
but not in Texas.
not in Texas,
Not in Texas.
right?
In Texas,
There
you go to
are
jail.
certain states, and someone will again, if you people are honest, and that's saying a lot, they could see why in Texas or Florida or any other Republican state does not tolerate that you can walk in and take the product from the store and not, and that's not even political. I'm not being political. I'm being honest and telling you what's going on in the stores that allow you to go in and take without being arrested are not Republican stores, not Republican states. They're Democratic states. So that's not political. I mean, that's obvious. But
Yeah,
so
you're right. Tony, you're right about that, but you're talking about leadership and what happened right now. Those leaders that are applying those kind of principles, in fact, they create out of themselves elites, and out of the people that they are saying that they give free stuff, what we are paying for, they create victims. Because when you receive, you start to depend on someone, and that someone cuts your wings off. You're not flying to realize your dreams, to see the world, to see the power that is in us. There is an interest that they have in themselves, those leaders that are trying to do that, to subdue people. You said it very well. I just wanted to emphasize
what
that.
You just said is absolutely the truth. However, the people we're talking to do not understand or care about that. You understand? They are now the public, the people that we've grown, who are taking the items and everything else from Walgreens and what have you, and they don't care whether that improves their life. They don't care, but they want it now. That's in there. That's the mentality. So that's what you're trying to fight about. You're trying to install integrity, honesty, responsibility, respect. Those are all words that seem to have gone away from this country and from the human being that has now been raised. So that's the fight. That's what one has to try to install into the mind of people that have been trained not to have any of these qualities. These qualities have been diminished in our lifetime. So
yes, I think you're right about that, Tony. You're right. We can look and see that some of the people and young people with instant gratification and entitlement, they will look like and we feel like they replace all the values with something else, with something that we know that will destroy them. But the good news is that as they grow up and as they have to find a job, to find a situation where they have to live, not necessarily in the basement of their parents and everything, they will start to change their mind and realize that, yes, I have some skills, I have some talents, I can use them and do it, but it will take time. And also, I believe other great news is that if you and I and our children and our neighbors will continue to act on our values every single day, we are going to influence everybody around, and those values will come back.
Yes, I hope that's our only hope. That's the only thing we have left at this stage of our life now. I see we have different human beings now. They're not the same human beings that you and I grew up with.
Yes, that is true. That is so true. But let me ask you this. Think about when you were young. Who influenced you to be an actor and a producer? And who in your life?
A teacher, my uncles, my family, you see, those things are gone. When you ask that question, family seems to have disintegrated from those people who are stealing, those people who are doing, relatives and mothers and fathers, teachers. And now the teachers don't want to teach; they want to stay out of the situation. So we have an observation. You and I come from a different place in the world where we come. We have culture, we have background, we have history, we have Europe. We have all that stuff that in our ancestors, even though I was born here, my mother and father were born here, we still understand the history of the countries of which we came from, and look at the beauty and the magnificence of the genius that was before us. And that's what is inspiring. Not a stupid commercial building that they put up today to make money and so on. Those people work for art. They were the people with no tools, with no paint. They had to make their own paint. They had to use brushes and paint the most beautiful things you ever saw in your life. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, I can go on and on with these magnificent human beings who've created something with nothing. The pyramids. I mean, you go to different places and see what the Europeans. So we, in our genes, excuse me, brought all that back to this country, and that's how we built America. With foreigners, with the Italians who've come from.
Yes, I think you're right. I don't take that away from you. I don't. But I want to say from my own experience, that wherever I go and wherever I share with people about my life and how life can be under socialists and communists, young people change their mind. Because they never had an opportunity to know someone or to hear from someone. And also, you said something that is so important. Because of their student loans, some of them, instead of staying there 3 years or 4 years, they decided to stay 6 years, and they accumulated lots of student loan, and they cannot do absolutely anything. Or because they don't want to work, they want to receive handouts. Many of them, they never went outside of United States to see. When they will run back to America, and they will love to do it. But the good news is that you, your wife, other friends, myself, other people, we do have an influence on people. And believe me, when they will be burned up by those lies and all these people that are lying to them, they will come back to the values.
I pray about that. And let me just say here, I do a play, a one-man show about Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia, who's the 99th mayor of New York City. And I've been doing that for a number of years, trying very much to influence and leadership and show the people what dedication and brilliance and so on and so meant. So I'm going to read. I just want to quickly. I know we have not much time left, but it is at the end of Fiorillo LaGuardia's speech. He said, "My generation has failed miserably. We fail because of a lack of courage and vision. It requires more courage to keep the peace than to go to war." Now here's another thing that said that President Franklin Roosevelt said. Let's see here. Oh Lord, where is it? He said a continued. Oh Lord, here something I said. See if you can guess it. A continued dependence on relief induces a spiritual and moral disintegration, fundamentally destructive to the national fiber. To dole out relief in this way is to administer a narcotic, a subtle destroyer of the human spirit. I mean, that kind of clarity is you just cannot. I don't know any poor person who's ever given me a job, and I don't know any poor person who, given something for free, has been advanced except for the moment. When you give someone things for free, you're not helping the person. You're dealing again with the victim, and you're dealing with someone who you're supposed to appreciate it. That's why when we build homes, we build these low-cost housing homes for people, and they destroy them. Because they
Wow.
eat. They're not. But you don't just keep giving someone.
Because they
Yeah,
expect that they will receive another one.
appreciate
That
something for
is,
free.
but
No, it's not.
yeah,
It doesn't have its
yeah.
value.
I think that
So you destroy it.
I think that the work that we are doing, and I'm so grateful for the quotes that you shared with us, because there is a human resilience. I believe in the resilience of the American people, and I believe that that will help us to go back to the values and what we need to do, and your leadership and our leadership, every individual leadership will help America to go back, nothing else. But I just want to thank you so very much for being here with us, taking the time and sharing your precious values and your precious opinion on leadership. And I want to thank you for your leadership. Even now, wherever you go, you are a leader, and we'll invite you next time.
Indeed,
we have more to discuss,
including our veterans that have not been taken care of, people who gave us our country. We have not taken care of them. They are committing suicide 22 a day, and we have got to give to people, not just take. We have to give. We have to show love.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so very much again.
If you want to know more about Virginia Prodan, her coaching program, buy her book, Saving My Assassin, or invite Virginia to speak at your events, visit virginiaprodanbooks.com.